Well, you know, when you were in seminary, I think you were in seminary when Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy were assassinated. And I was wondering, how
It was unbelievable.
did those deaths impact your plans for the future?
Well, I'm not sure it impacted my plans, any plans for the future. The King assassination, I mean, I'll never forget where I was.
And this is the 50th anniversary when we're doing this interview coming up.
Yeah, oh yeah. That assassination I was at a party. My roommate, George Schaefer, had left the seminary and had joined the military and was going to become a spy in Vietnam for the U.S. government. And we were having a going away party for him at somebody's house. I don't remember her name. And there were several of us there, and this guy named Skip Sanders, who was a classmate, a year ahead of us. Skip came in and he said, Martin Luther King has been killed. And of course that ended that party. And we went out. We went back to the school and we got up on the roof and we could see fires beginning in burning of downtown Baltimore, parts of downtown Baltimore. The next day, we got $5,000 from the cardinal at the time. And we went in to some warehouse and filled this truck with $5,000 worth of canned goods and took it to Phil Berrigan's parish in the inner city so people would have food and it was unbelievable. I mean, it was National Guard camps on every corner, guys with guns and stuff like that, to just try to quell the reaction to that. I mean, that's what I remember from all this. It was just an incredible experience to see all that happen. And it just, I guess, made me want to work even more, because I already wanted to work in the West End with this team of people, because it was an exciting idea. And that had pretty well been determined that was going to, I got to go down there that summer in '68. That's when there were what they called riots in Louisville. They were nothing compared, but they were, serious. I think there was 1 or 2 young people killed at the time. I know that our friend Merv covered it because they didn't have any black reporters, so they sent Merv down from the art department.
Merv was an artist.
Yeah, from the art department. He's down there covering it, and Eddie, his brother, is down there shooting the photographs, because they didn't have black photographers and stuff. So it was really fascinating. When I got back to town, that was in April, and I got back in June. Bobby Kennedy was actually killed. I was back here for the summer.
68.
And but I went to a meeting over at 28th and Dumanil that night, and there was a policeman masquerading with a collar on to infiltrate and get information from what was being planned, because Bob and Dolores were there, and that's why I went over. It was one of the reasons I went over. It was a heady summer, but it was good. It was good summer. I mean, in terms of what we were able to try to do and work with people and keep the church open to everybody, because technically the pastor was Vernon Robertson, and his background was that, he taught me so much. He went down there, he was an Episcopal priest who had decided to leave that and wasn't sure what he was going to do, but he bought that house in the West End at Fontaine, and then Fontaine House, and then he went and visited that parish before he was ordained as a Catholic priest. And he talked to the pastor there, and the pastor said, well, there's nobody here anymore. And of course Vernon said, well, there's 100,000 people here. Well, what this guy meant was, the white people were gone. And so Vernon said because that's why numbers didn't matter to us, how many members were in the parish, because it was the community that was the difference for us. And that we were trying to keep the doors open for anybody that wanted to be part of that. They didn't have to be Catholic and come to church there to benefit from, Vernon had, he put that dome, had concerts, started the Montessori school, did all that kind of stuff, put up a couple of experimental housing things that didn't work out, but they were trying to figure out how do you use these narrow shotgun lots where the houses there are no good, but what do you replace it with? And it was very interesting. And you know, you just had Johnson's War on Poverty and working with the local Community Action Commission at Miss Eugene and oh, I can't think of her first name, Miss Green, Maddie Jones, all these folks.